That is a free roll, but a very quick gain. In the Arabian Gulf against Iraqi low-lying ship. Last time we used accurate here, interesting enough, but it's still a very quick one on the links. So yeah, it developed and there was the helicopter and then in the 1960s Mark 8 where we upgraded all sorts of things. It's been a great support of the fleet over its lifetime. Meantime, we can see another aircraft taking its position on the runway with the very distinctive shape of the Corsair, also taxiing out towards the right-hand end, Rich Goodwin in his muscle biplane. Of course, any display flying are very taxi patterns in use in order to get aircraft down to the active end of the runway. There goes FG-1D Corsair. F4Us and FG-1s from carriers in April 1944, the majority of their sorties were still flown from land. It was one of the outstanding fighters of the Pacific War, particularly when the tactics for its use were refined. Soon Corsair pilots were able pretty much to sweep all before them, outclassing their enemy opponents in the Japanese Imperial Navy Mitsubishi A6M Zeros. And the US Marine Corps used them during that island hopping campaign of theirs of the final stages of the Pacific War, supporting various amphibious landings. One can't talk about the Corsair without mentioning the Corsair pilot of the Royal Canadian Navy who won the Victoria Cross. That was Lieutenant Robert Hampton Gray of 1841 Squadron, the second fighter pilot recipient of the VC of World War II. First having been RAF Fighter Command's Flight Lieutenant James Nicholson during the Battle of Britain. Hampton Gray pressed home an attack against a Japanese destroyer on the 9th of August 1945 in the face of extremely heavy fire. His bombs from his Corsair managed to sink the ship, but Hampton Gray lost his life and was posthumously awarded that decoration. Phased out its Corsairs soon after the war was over, but they carried on in Algeria and Tunisia, and then in 1969 came the so-called soccer war between El Salvador and Honduras. The only one flying in the UK, built by Goodyear at a plant in Ohio. Went to the US Navy in April 1945 and ended up serving with the US Navy Reserve. Nearly 20 years now, this aircraft has been painted as a Mark IV Corsair of the Fleet Air Arm, specifically one of 1850 Squadron, serving on HMS Vengeance in the Pacific in late 1945. Warbird pilots, much like the Corsair, people who've flown this one at displays. Keith Skilling from New Zealand, for example, said what sets the Corsair apart from other fighters of the era is control, response and harmonisation. I consider the Corsair to be almost as good as the Spitfire at low level. Horsepower from the Corsair's Pratt & Whitney R2800 double wasp engine. Of the post-war West German Luftwaffe, because it was used as a target tug by that air arm, hence the bright day-glow flashes that adorn this aircraft. And you'll notice a very natty tiger-striped under-fuselage auxiliary fuel tank also carried. That part of the aircraft's look for this season, because the Bronco demo team has taken on a Tiger theme for 2016. The aircraft now lined up to the left-hand end of the bout to get airborne in very short order into its display, because short takeoff and landing capabilities an important part of this aircraft's attributes. Here it goes then, the North American OV-10B Bronco.